The house was quiet to quiet. It was that kind of silence that didn't mean peace, but warning. Outside, the rain whispered against the windows, each drop echoing like a heartbeat. Inside, Sarah sat on the edge of her bed, clutching her phone so tightly her knuckles had turned white. Her reflection in the darkened glass looked like a ghost, pale, trembling, lost. She had just dialed 911. Her voice had cracked as she whispered her name, her address, her reason for calling. She'd said the words she thought would matter. "My husband is a police officer. Please help me." The operator's tone had changed, instantly cautious, hesitant. "Ma'am, please remain calm. We'll send someone right away." But that was over 20 minutes ago, and no one had come. Downstairs, the sound of footsteps began again, slow, deliberate, heavy. Daniel Reeves, Officer Reeves to the world, the man the neighborhood admired, the man Sarah feared most, was pacing the living room floor. He was still in uniform. His badge caught the glow of the television, gleaming like an emblem of invincibility. He took a long sip from a glass of whiskey, watching the reflection of his own face in the window. "You think they'll believe you?" he muttered, his voice thick. "You think I'm the monster here?" He slammed the glass down. It shattered, shards bouncing across the hardwood. Sarah flinched upstairs, tears blurring her vision. For years, that sound, the shattering, had meant one thing. The storm was starting. The memory of better days haunted her. Their first year together had been a dream. Daniel was attentive, charming, almost gentle. He called her his angel, his peace after long shifts. Neighbors admired how devoted he was. His captain said he'd make detective soon. But slowly, love had turned into surveillance. He began tracking her texts, her calls, her spending. He questioned her friends, her family, until one by one, they disappeared from her life. The house became smaller, the world quieter, and soon, silence became her prison. Tonight, though, something was different. Daniel had come home angry, angrier than usual. He'd thrown his keys so hard they'd chipped the wall. "Someone at work said they saw you talking to a reporter today," he'd spat. "You trying to ruin me?" Sarah hadn't answered fast enough. He'd grabbed her wrist, squeezing until her vision blurred. Then he'd walked away, muttering, "You'll regret that." And that's when she'd called 911. Now, sitting there in the dark, she stared at the phone screen again. The call timer read 29 minutes, 43 seconds. Still no sirens. No knock on the door. Her voice was gone, but her mind screamed, "Please, someone, help me." But help wasn't coming. The floorboards creaked. Daniel was coming up the stairs. She stood quickly, her body shaking, and rushed to the closet. She pulled open the door and slid inside, closing it quietly behind her. Her heartbeat thudded so loud she thought he might hear it. Through the thin slit between the door panels, she saw his shadow move across the hall. He stopped outside their bedroom. The door opened slowly. "Sarah," his tone was calm. Too calm. "I know you called them. You think they'll take your word over mine?" He chuckled softly. The sound crawled across her skin. Then silence. Seconds passed. Then a full minute. She heard him move away, his footsteps fading down the stairs. Sarah exhaled shakily. Her legs were weak, but she forced herself out of the closet. She grabbed her small suitcase from under the bed, the one she'd been packing for weeks, just in case. Inside were a few clothes, her passport, and a photo of her mother, the only person she truly missed. She looked at the clock. 11:13 p.m. Maybe it was late enough. Maybe she could make it to the bus station before sunrise. She crept toward the door. Every step was calculated, silent. The rain outside covered the soft sound of her breathing. She reached the bottom of the stairs and froze. The living room was empty. The TV still flickered, showing the late-night news. Her heart pounded. She crossed the room slowly, her hand trembling as she reached for the doorknob. That's when she saw it. Daniel's badge, sitting on the table beside the shattered whiskey glass. For a moment, she stared at it, that cold metal star that had always meant safety to others. But to her, it meant control. "Going somewhere?" His voice came from the shadows. Sarah spun around, and there he was, standing in the doorway of the kitchen, eyes bloodshot, uniform unbuttoned, gun holstered on his belt. He took a step forward, smirking. "You really thought I didn't know? You called them, didn't you?" "Daniel, please. I just need to get away from what? Your husband? The one who pays for this house. The one who protects you." He laughed bitterly. "You don't need protection. You need discipline." He lunged forward and grabbed her arm, yanking her back. The suitcase hit the floor, spilling open. clothes and papers scattered everywhere. "Let me go," she screamed, struggling. "You want to ruin my career?" He snarled. "You want everyone to think I'm some kind of monster? Fine, let them." He raised his hand, but before he could strike, she did something she'd never done before. She fought back. Her hand shot out, grabbing the glass tumbler from the floor, and smashed it against his shoulder. Daniel cursed, stumbling back. Sarah didn't stop to think. She ran through the door into the storm. Rain drenched her instantly. She ran barefoot across the street, pounding on her neighbor's door, the Carters. Lights flicked on inside. She heard whispers, movement, but the door never opened. Through the window, she saw Mrs. Carter pull back the curtain just enough to see, then close it again. Sarah screamed, voice cracking, "Please, he's going to kill me." The only answer was silence. She stumbled toward the main road, headlights flashing by in the distance. She waved frantically at a passing car, but it sped up instead of stopping. In a town where everyone loved Officer Reeves, no one wanted to get involved. The sound of footsteps behind her made her heart seize. Daniel's voice cut through the rain. "Sarah, you're making this worse." She ducked behind a mailbox, gasping for air. Every nerve in her body screamed to keep moving. Her bare feet ached. Her breath came out in clouds. She spotted a payphone near the bus stop and ran for it. She picked up the receiver, hands shaking so badly she almost dropped it. She dialed again, 911. Nothing. No ring. No answer. Just silence. Her tears mixed with the rain. "The call never came," she whispered. Then, headlights appeared at the end of the street. A police cruiser. Sarah stumbled toward it, waving both arms. "Help me. Please help." The car slowed, then stopped. The window rolled down. It was Daniel's partner, Officer Miller. "Sarah, what happened?" he asked gently. He tried to hurt me," she stammered. "Please, you have to arrest him." Miller's expression shifted, not to sympathy, but discomfort. "Sarah, you should go home," he said quietly. "Let him cool off." Her stomach dropped. "He's dangerous." Miller looked away. "You don't understand. If I file this, it goes straight to internal affairs. It'll destroy his career. You don't want that kind of attention." Sarah stepped back, disbelief flooding her face. "I could die," he sighed. "I'll talk to him tomorrow. Go home. Get some rest." The cruiser pulled away, red taillights fading into the fog. Sarah stood there, shaking, alone. The rain poured harder, drowning the sound of her sobs. Back at the house, Daniel was sitting on the couch again, breathing heavily. His knuckles were bleeding. His badge sat in front of him, the television flashing red and blue across his face. He looked up at the window, and for a brief moment, maybe even a human one, his expression softened. But only for a moment. He muttered under his breath, "You can't run from me." Hours later, Sarah found herself sitting in the 24-hour diner by the bus stop, wrapped in a soaked blanket a kind waitress had given her. Her hands trembled as she held a steaming cup of coffee. She checked her phone again, no missed calls, no texts, not even from the police. The call she had made for help had vanished into silence. But in that silence, something changed inside her. She realized that the world wasn't going to save her. She would have to save herself. And as dawn broke, Sarah walked out of that diner with a plan. Not just to escape, but to expose him. Because if no one else would make that call, she would.